Hi, I'm Tall Paul, and I've got my 10 favorite cruise travel hacks. I know that not everyone is going to agree with my favorite travel cruise hacks, but this is what works for me. My goal has always been to go on as many cruises as I can get on. I don't necessarily get into a lot of excursions. I don't necessarily want the finest foods. I'm usually quite happy with what I can find in the main dining room or the buffet. So that would be my cruise hack number 1, where you don't necessarily need to eat in the specialty restaurants. Usually when we eat in a specialty restaurant, it's because it's already included in the package that we purchased when we booked the cruise. Cruise hack number 2 would be, I do my own laundry in a sink if it's a longer cruise. If it's a shorter cruise, I just take enough clothes with me that I don't need to wash anything. But if it's a longer cruise, I do my laundry in a sink, and then I just hang it up to dry. It takes about a day or 2 to dry, so I have maybe 3 or 4 days worth of clothes, and that works quite well for me. Now, some women that I've told this to have told me that it would not work for them, but I also have met some women who have said that it does work for them. So I guess it's really just a personal preference of how much you want to bring and how much laundry you want to do in your cabin. My cruise hack number 3 is that I don't drink much on a cruise, so I don't usually purchase the alcoholic drink package. I just pay for it when I want to drink. And it usually ends up being less than what I would have paid for on a drink package. So what you need to do is figure out how much you normally spend in a day for drinks, and then multiply that by the number of days you're on the cruise, and see which one comes out higher. Cruise hack number 4, I like to pay for my cruise with a cruise line credit card. That gets some travel perks depending on your credit card. However, you only benefit from this if you pay off the full balance by the due date. Cruise hack number 5, I like to purchase cruise credits when I'm on a cruise. You can usually get a future cruise credit on sale when you're on a cruise and use them towards a future cruise, so that saves you money in the long run. Number 6, I always travel to near the cruise port at least a day before the cruise leaves. You can never be sure that you're not going to get some kind of a delay getting to your cruise port, and if you don't get there in time, the ship is going to leave without you. So my closest cruise port is New York City. I live in Rochester, New York, and we usually like to drive. So what we'll do is we will drive to a cheaper motel about an hour outside of New York City, spend the night there, and then the next morning drive into New York City early enough so that we don't have any delays getting into the cruise port. And we also like to park right at the cruise port in New York City. I realize that sounds expensive, but anything in the New York City area is going to be expensive. And with the chaos of getting in and out of the New York City area, it's just nice to be able to get off the ship, go to our car right at the cruise port there, get in and go home. Number 7, and this is one that a lot of people I know will not agree with me on, but this is my personal preference. I generally do not eat at restaurants in the ports. I figure my food is included with the cruise price, so I pay for it in a port. Now I know that's a personal choice, because a lot of people like to eat the local cuisine, and I get it. But for me, my priority is to be able to go on as many cruises as possible. Therefore, I like to keep my cruises as inexpensive as possible. My cruise hack number 8, although a balcony cabin is always nice and I love to book them, sometimes I go for an inside cabin to save money. That really kind of depends on the overall cost of the cruise itself and the kind of ports that we're going to be visiting. If they're very scenic ports like we did in Alaska, yes, we had a balcony cabin. It was well worth it because there were times like, say for example, we were visiting a glacier. So the ship would come into the glacier area, get as close as it safely can, and then slowly rotate the ship around so that everybody on both sides of the ship can get a view of everything in the area. A lot of people are out on deck for that, and we had our own balcony, so we had our nice private spot where we could stand up or sit down and do as we pleased while we had a wonderful view. But many other times we're on a cruise where that doesn't really matter, And if we want to go and see what's outside, we simply go to a deck, or we can go to the promenade deck, which is usually somewhere around deck 4, 5, or 6, and you can walk around the outside of the ship. I find that very often there's not very many people out there. So an inside cabin can be a great travel hack. And number 9 is kind of a tag on to number 8. I don't necessarily go for a higher deck with an inside cabin because the higher decks cost more money. And if you can't see outside, then what's the point? My personal cruise hack number 10, I don't have any problem with booking a cruise on an older ship. It's the newer ships that like to charge more money because everybody's excited about a new ship. And for me, I don't need all the newest and most modern amenities. Older ships are fine with me, especially smaller ships. I personally don't care to travel on a large ship that has 6,000 of my closest friends. I'm quite happy to go on a ship that has anywhere from 1,500 people, 2,000 people, 2,500 people, or even less than 1,500 if I can find a good cruise with a good itinerary. So those are my top 10 favorite cruise hacks. Hot Chocolate with Paul is a video log of life experiences that I feel might inspire other people. I'm a minimalist 60-plus geezer in the making. Sometimes my wife Stacy will appear. Be sure to subscribe to this channel so you can catch new videos whenever they come out.